Another edition of Beyond the Huddle is coming your way.
Into the Beyond the Huddle podcast Week 5 preview. I'm your host, Louis Deeby. What's going on here with Brendan Harrington, Dave Crest, and Jordan Hanscom? What's going on, boys?
Nothing much going on at the moment, but it's Friday, and the week's over.
Okay, terrific. Brendan. Jordan, how you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, he sounds good. It's going. Dave, how you doing?
Pretty good, I guess. Terrible Thursday night game coming off of yesterday, but look forward to the week, till Sunday.
Hanskin has symptoms of Ebola, so.
Too soon, I guess, or too premature.
Yeah.
Nothing, no response from Hanskin.
Whatever he said is not true. Whatever he said is not true.
He said you have Ebola, Hanskin.
That's absolutely not true. That one guy.
Hanskin is going to end the world. Everyone he talks to is going to get it, and it's going to be a plague.
I'm not in Texas.
Pretty damn close to it. In North Carolina.
Not really. Not really, no.
Now we're getting into a geographical debate. Alright, we ready to start off Week 5 preview? Get rid of the Ebola talk. Alright. We're gonna start it off in the NFC South, where Week 1, the New Orleans Saints take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that upset the Pittsburgh Steelers last week with Mike Glennon's first start of the season. A go-ahead touchdown at the end of the game. The New Orleans Saints are coming off another disappointing loss on Sunday night to the Dallas Cowboys, who really just whomped them on offense. And Saints have some bad news. Jerry Bird is out for the season after he
Not too bad.
he tore
That's not
kind
too
of.
bad of news.
I think it's bad news.
He was playing horribly because of his injury.
Okay, but it wasn't like okay. Well, this injury
Overrated? Overrated?
overpaid.
What? Overrated? He's a playmaker.
I don't think he's overrated.
So is the Norris Searcy.
All right, Jordan, what do you think on this game? Who do you got?
I have to go with New Orleans here. I mean, even with their injury, I don't think the Steelers are that good of a team, and I think the Bucs played well, but they're not going to be able to play that well 2 weeks in a row. They're not a good team, and New Orleans, you have to think Drew Brees is going to start to click one of these days.
Brennan, what do you think on this matchup?
Where is this game being played?
This game is being played in New Orleans.
New Orleans wins. But Drew Brees is unstoppable in New Orleans. And, their defense is horrible. Every defense of the NFC South is, including the Tampa Bay Bucs.
If I'm not mistaken, I think all three of their losses have been on the road.
Who are the Saints?
I know they beat the Vikings.
They lost to the Browns on the road.
Metrodome.
They lost to
The Dallas Cowboys on the road.
the Dallas Cowboys on the road, and
And who was there? Oh, and then the Falcons.
the
That was in
Falcons.
Atlanta. That was in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, that was at Atlanta.
So
They've already
maybe,
played
maybe
3.
this narrative is correct that the Saints are just maybe a terrible team on the road. Dave, what do you think about this?
I really think this is a no-brainer. The Saints are going to win. I don't think it really mattered where it played, but Brennan's right. The Saints are unstoppable at home. So, yeah, I'll go with the Saints.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay, their offense looked good under Mike Glennon.
It definitely did. A lot more serviceable than when Josh McCown was in. Honestly, I think Josh McCown was just a product of a great offense. And I don't think I think they should just stick with Mike Glennon, which this team was, to me in the offseason, was going to be a sneaky playoff contender, in my opinion. Obviously, the first 3 weeks looked like they were going to get the first overall pick. But I think with Mike Glennon, they're actually going to start. Their defense has a lot of nice young players. If Deshaun Golden get healthy, it'll be one of the best safety pairings in the league with Mark Barron. The Saints are my Super Bowl pick, though, and I have to stick with that. I'm not jumping off. I think they're going to rebound somehow. As long as this defense can get it going, I'm going to go with the Saints, too. So we'll go the next matchup on the 1 o'clock games is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the St. Louis Rams. Dave, we'll kick it off with you. How much, just talk about it. I don't really.
Well, I think you were trying to say something about the Eagles struggling offense last week. Well, yeah, they did struggle a lot against the 49ers, but their defense and special teams also looked pretty good, too. It was a bad week for them. A lot of people question Chip Kelly's play calling, but I think they'll easily get back with a win here.
Hanskin, what about you? You're an Eagles critic.
I'm not a. That's unfair to say.
No, you've
I
been
just
criticizing
don't
them all year.
believe in them.
Right, you're a critic of them.
Because
Hanskin, how do you feel about the
they're not
game?
as good as people think they are, mainly you.
I'm a fan of them, so no matter what, I'm gonna obviously defer to your. I'm gonna go against your opinion because your opinion is that they're not a good team.
Eagles will have no trouble in this game. Well, for one, they're not playing a very good team. They'll do fine, and they'll still be in tied for the NFC East. I don't really have much to say about this game, just because I don't think it's going to be one of the better matchups of this week. I think the Eagles will play very well. They'll step up and they'll win this game.
Austin Davis. Austin Davis played fantastic against Dallas, throwing 3 touchdowns and really moved the ball for. I think he's passed for over 300 yards. He has the highest completion percentage in the NFL right now, and he has. I don't know. He's played really good at the quarterback position for the St. Louis Rams. He won the starting job over Sean Hill. If Sean Hill would back him up for the rest of the season, they said the other day. And just look for Austin Davis to maybe pull off this upset against the Eagles. Even though the Eagles have played pretty well, their secondary has stepped up more than they did last year. But the 3-1 Eagles, watch out.
Are you saying the Rams are gonna win this game?
I'm saying that if I were to pick one upset team to win this week, I would pick the St. Louis Rams.
But are you picking the Rams to win this game?
Probably not. I'm just saying if I were to pick one big upset team, then I would pick the St. Louis Rams. I love Austin Davis.
So that means you're not.
Saying that there will be no upsets this week?
Yeah.
I'm just saying if I had to pick one big upset this week, Hanskin,
But are you picking one?
No, he said he's not.
we will see. I don't pick any games. I don't really pick them. I just kind of watch them.
You just picked the Saints game.
In this game.
You know what? I am picking it for the sake of conversation.
all right.
I think the Rams could win this football game. How about that? Why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Well, because you talked up the Rams, but you're hesitant to pick them.
Fine, the Rams
are scared to pick them.
Fine, the Rams are going to win this football game.
All right. Now, for my spiel on the Eagles, what happened last week with the 49ers, like Dave said, their defensive special teams, I mean, this is just, it's kind of frustrating because right when they start clicking, the offense has their worst game of the season, but they lost Jason Kelsey, Evan Mathis, Lane Johnson wasn't playing. This week they're getting Lane Johnson back on the offensive line, and everybody, including myself, was criticizing Chip Kelly at the time. It was just the heat of the moment. But that offensive line was terrible all game. They weren't running it in. He didn't believe they were going to physically be able to beat that 49ers line to the end zone on 2 plays. And, of course, if the Eagles score touchdown on those bootlegs, everyone says it's a great play call. So it's a matter of what happened with the play. It wasn't what the play was called. It's the outcome of the play. Because if Nick Foles throws it lower and Jerry Maclin catches that touchdown, it's a great play call, and Chip Kelly continues to be an offensive genius.
I don't know if they're talking about that specific play, though. They might be talking about earlier in the
A
game.
lot of people were criticizing both. On 3rd down, they were on the 1-yard line. LeSean McCoy just ran a 5-yard run, which was his longest, actually, of the entire game. And he threw it twice, and there was just no chance on either play.
No matter whose fault it was, the Eagles' defense or offense didn't do really anything all game, and I think the Rams could execute off that.
Yeah, I think that game's more of a way to praise the 49ers.
Yeah,
That,
definitely.
when they were looking like they were like nothing was going right for the season, people were all saying that they're not going to be a playoff contender, or that they were gonna mess up and not make it. I think that was a big game, big statement win for them against a good Eagles team.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
It was a big game for them.
Yeah.
And their first win at Levi Stadium. It was big.
I mean, another thing is, I just think this is why the offensive line was so bad is you can't expect with the 49ers, even without Alden Smith, have a dominant defensive line. Justin Smith was all over the field. You can't expect this team to play as good as they've been doing with 2 starting offensive linemen. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, I think Nick Foles is a good quarterback, but honestly, I think he is a product of Chip Kelly's system. Honestly, I think, and this is what Greg Cosell, so this isn't, I kind of divvying off of that opinion, but I've been starting to realize this as well. Nick Foles, honestly, if you made him have to win you games, I don't know how good you'd be. The 49ers said, make Nick Foles beat us, and I mean that's what maybe the formula some teams are going to do, is they're going to take away their run game with Darren Sproles and McCoy, but Chip Kelly just thinks it's because the offensive line is depleted, but we're getting Lane Johnson back this week, so I guess that's optimistic thinking.
This might be a naive thing to say, but I think that Nick Foles takes or throws the ball down the field way too much. Like he bombs it like 5-6 times a game. It seems like.
Well, a lot of the time he has, like, Macklin's been open. They've only connected on the one deep pass, but he's had him open a lot of the time. It's just he doesn't have enough time to take his time and make sure the ball's there because he's being rushed. Like last game,
Yeah.
he overthrew it and he got nailed by Justin Smith, and then he got it off. So.
And how accurate can he be throwing the ball 50 yards down the field?
Right,
Really? I mean,
He's been a sporadic passer this year. There's no excuse for that, though, honestly. That's just my opinion. But let's move on from the Eagles, and we'll talk about the Cleveland Browns and the team of the Beyond the Huddle, the Tennessee Titans.
this doesn't make any sense.
They're our team. So, Cleveland Browns, Titans, Hanskin, you're the #1 Tennessee Titan fan in the world, because I don't know if there are anyone else. Who do you got?
That was for 1 week. They're done.
That was your...
This is gonna be Cleveland's game. I'm gonna sacrifice that pick. That division's probably gonna go to the Colts unless Fitzmagic keeps rolling the way he's rolling. But yeah, the Cleveland will win this game just because Cleveland has a better all-around team than Tennessee does.
Yeah.
I'll go with the winner, Brian Hoyer. I mean, the Browns' defense is good. It's a good defense, I guess. I don't really think that through 3 games you can really tell how good a defense is going to be. But and a lot of people are kind of over.
Defense is ranked 30th right now.
Yeah, they have not looked good.
Yeah, but I don't know. Stats doesn't show everything. They're
On paper, they look good.
yeah. On paper they don't look good. What do you mean
On
by?
paper, they
No,
have
like their
good
players.
Oh, their
Just not
players?
playing well.
I mean, they're. How many points are they giving up a game? What, 20? They've been in every game they played. There's
That's
no
only
way.
because of how good their offense has been playing.
20 points they're giving up on defense, I'm saying.
Their rushing attack is good.
Dave.
Wait a minute.
Brennan.
Well,
He said he
their
was-
running game has been better than expected without Ben Tate in the lineup. I mean, Terrence West has looked pretty good, and then their receiver, Miles Austin's looked alright. And Brian Hoyer's just a winner. 2-2 after this week.
Yeah, I agree with the Browns winning this game. The Titans, besides that Week 1 win over the Chiefs, they really haven't played good. But Hanskin has them go to the playoffs, so still a playoff team, Hanskin.
Has him going to the AFC Championship, I'm pretty sure.
No, the divisional round.
Oh.
He hasn't winning a game in the playoffs.
That was just, we should not have done predictions week 1. I'm sorry, but that was terrible.
That was the greatest pick ever. Don't lie.
Hey, they're still mathematically in it, though.
For now. Alright,
I can admit when I'm wrong. Not Skip Bayless.
alright, let's, I want to get off this game. So,
This game is awful.
It's pretty gross. It's
let's,
pretty terrible.
The Browns are never going to go to the playoffs. Neither are the Bills.
How about Falcons Giants?
I was actually going to get to that one. Hanskin, go ahead.
Alright. Well, I think this is starting to look like shades of 2007 here a little bit with the Giants rolling in, kind of, you know, when Tom Coughlin's normally getting close to being fired and Eli's getting close to getting the hook. This team just starts to win magically, and I think this is gonna be another year. It's gonna be a dogfight in the NFC East again. I think one of these teams are gonna steal some games against the Eagles, and it's gonna be like a 9-7 victor between Dallas, Philadelphia, and the Giants.
Eagles are not going 9-7. They're not going 9-7. God.
I think the Dallas Cowboys could win this
But
division.
the
They're
Giants will lose this game because my Super Bowl pick team will dominate them.
The Dallas Cowboys are playing good football, and so are have the New York Giants the last couple of weeks, but
So are the Giants, yeah.
the last couple of weeks against Houston, who I think is not for real, and the Washington
sour from
Redskins.
last
Come on,
week.
we have to see them. Yeah, we have to see them play against some good football teams to see if they're gonna compete with the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC
They won
East.
last week.
Oh my gosh, the Washington Redskins.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Texans.
Oh no, the Texans are in a good
Sorry.
football team. Yeah, I'm talking about the Texans also.
Oh, okay.
The Texans aren't good either. J.J. Watt's good, but Yeah, I think the Giants could win this football game, but the Falcons got upset by the Vikings last week, which with Teddy Bridgewater starting his first game. But both these defenses are. I mean, they're not. I like the Giants defense and I hate the Falcons defense.
I think the Falcons have 8-8 written all over them. Like, I mean, they're to me they're going back and forth. They're beating some impressive team. Well, no, they beat
The Saints.
The
We
Saints.
thought were
They killed
impressive.
Yeah, of course. And then they lost to the to the Bengals, who to me are a legit Super Bowl contender. And then they lost to the Vikings, who to me with Teddy Bridgewater are a sleeper team. I'm not gonna display my opinion based on what happened last night because I think Christian Ponder was just terrible. Like he was just all like that was.
Yeah, but going away from Christian Potter, look at their defense.
Besides enjoying my
defense played,
fantasy
like-
team yesterday, that was one terrible game to watch, and that just continues to show Thursday night games are not exciting at all.
Because of whoever goes on the road, besides an exception of the New York Giants for some reason, whoever goes on the road loses. Because it's
That's
hard to
not
track.
true.
Yes, it is.
You mean on Thursday night?
Yeah, on Thursday
Oh,
night.
okay. All right, yeah.
What do you mean
true.
they?
I thought you meant just an overall.
No.
People that go on the road.
Whoever goes on
lose.
the road loses, and on Thursday Night Football, it's
It's
not
been such a
easy to
short
make.
week.
It's
How do you
it's
make
not
that
that easy.
travel?
It's not easy to make that travel. They leave. All right, they finish a game on Sunday, and then they leave on the road on Tuesday.
Proposition. They
can't
move it
do
to
that.
Saturday night.
They don't move to Saturday. They just don't move it.
Yes.
Keep games on
College
Sundays and
football-
Mondays.
It's college football's day. Don't take my day.
Yeah, you can't have Saturday Night Football games.
Hanskin,
No,
you
college
can,
football
you can
has
choose
like
to
a
watch
thing.
college football still. But
They
I'm
have-
gonna be watching
yeah,
NFL football.
They have a couple like when the college football
Yeah.
season ends.
Yeah, but
like
what?
the Eagles are playing.
Get rid of Thursday Night Football.
Oh, yeah.
Just get rid of it altogether. Make Sunday an actual like.
They lost to Arizona.
Oh baby.
Let people wait.
All
Let
right.
people wait for Sunday. Why?
Lost.
Why put a game on Thursday?
That this happens every year with not just to get off topic. Oregon does. I feel like they do this every single
Oregon
year.
isn't good. They're overrated.
They lost to Arizona last year too.
Yeah.
They don't have a team that can handle close, low-scoring games.
Yes, they can't. Yeah,
They'll
they,
lose close, low-scoring games.
if they get mad, if they get outbeat physically, it's over. They are not. They're a finesse. They're a finesse team.
Yeah, Arizona's
Their
defense
team-
showed up.
They can't stop the run. That's their main problem. That's always been their problem.
They're a team in a horrible state for sports.
It doesn't matter
that
what
tries to
state
recruit-
they're in.
That tries to recruit players solely because of their jerseys
Actually,
and stuff like that.
The Pac-12 is actually a good conference.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 is not a good conference. It's top 5.
What are you talking about?
It's not a good conference.
It's the only
It's-
conference that can compare with the SEC at all.
Yeah.
What conferences are better than the Pac-12 other than the SEC? And probably, the Big Ten's a good one.
Yeah, Big Ten, ACC,
Big Ten is not.
ACC?
better than Pac-12.
ACC's
Yeah, the Big
ACC is
Ten
not
weak.
better in football.
what it is.
ACC has a couple good teams.
It's SEC, Pac-12, Big 12.
Yeah, the Big Ten is.
I don't like the Pac-10. I think it's weird.
the Pac-12.
Yeah, well, it used to be the Pac-10.
Why? They've both Arizona State, who's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
for one, they
Stanford,
play-
I think
They've-
Stanford's
For
good.
one, they play
UCL.
at like 10 o'clock at night here. I don't like watching teams like that
Pac-12
anyway.
has the best assortment of quarterbacks. They have the best of quarterbacks. They have the best quarterbacks.
What?
Hanskin, question since you're the college football expert: is USC in the Pac-12?
No.
USC is in the Pac-12.
Oh, they are?
are.
Were they just added or
They're
something?
like the fourth best Pac-12
No.
team.
And I'm not sure.
That's how good the Pac-12 is.
Is UCLA still undefeated?
UCLA is undefeated. They're the only Pac-12 team.
Alright, let's go back to the NFL.
They've won a couple close games though.
Brett Hundley.
Only.
We'll see. We'll talk about him
And he-
Brett Hundley,
February.
Sean Mannion, Sean Mannion, Kevin Hogan, Marcus Mariota,
Yeah.
Tyler Kelly,
Taylor Kelly, I love Taylor
Is he the
Kelly.
Arizona State guy?
Yeah, Arizona State.
I've watched.
Yeah.
I'll do all that stuff during the off season, but
Alright, tangent over. Let's continue.
why not? We'll talk a little college football, but so the Panthers and Bears can we just is everyone picking the Steelers over the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Can we just skim over that?
No,
Or
I
find
think
a-
that's another upset.
Uh,
The Jaguars have yet to play against a bad football team.
They played the
Steelers are
Eagles.
the-
That's my thought on the Jaguars. They're gonna win a game. They're not gonna lose every game.
No, what's gonna happen is like last year at the end they gelled. They won 5 games in the last.
I think I'm gonna go with the Jags. I think I'm gonna go with the Jags on this one.
God. The Steelers
Yeah.
are not losing 2 weeks in a row to
Who have the Jaguars played this year so far?
The Eagles.
the Eagles, the Colts,
Their
the.
defense is injury riddled.
The Chargers and
This
who
is a
else?
prime time for them to lose to another bad team.
Are you just ignoring what they did to Carolina 2 weeks ago?
What? Who
Based on
did?
the
The,
fact
oh
that
yeah, they
their
killed him.
defense is depleted now, yeah.
Well,
Boom.
against Carolina, Shazier got hurt, so he wasn't really playing in that game, and neither was Jarvis
It's a
Jones.
different teaming.
Yeah, Jay still isn't playing. We're picking one game, not the whole season.
Okay, but the Jaguars aren't going to be able to stop. It doesn't matter about their defense. Their defense is going to do enough.
Jaguars' offense is good.
Let's see. Their defense. The Jaguars' defense is the worst in the NFL. They have barely anybody. All their guys are young. The Tampa Bay defense is super underrated. When they're actually being, like, they're not having to be put in terrible situations because of turnover from Josh McCown.
Okay, I'm just saying this team's not going to go winless, and I'm going to go against the grain here. I think they're going to at least beat the spread. How about that?
Yeah.
I just don't see that.
Wait, what is
I don't
the
think they
spread?
can
Like
outscore
10?
the Steelers' offense, who I think is legit. With Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, they're legit.
What is the spread, Hanskin?
Apparently not, because they got owned by the Bucks.
They didn't get owned by the Bucks. The Bucks got the ball at the right time in the last drive and won the game.
They let the Bucks come back on their last drive. The Bucks are awful.
I'm sticking. I think the Steelers are still a contender, and I'm thinking they're gonna.
Contender for what?
They're not. Mike Tomlin will not allow them to lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sticking with the Steelers.
Steelers are not a contender.
Yeah, I'm going with Steelers.
The Steelers
I
aren't
think
even
you guys are.
contender.
I think you're overreacting again, just like Week 1 when Hanskin picks the Tennessee Titans and the Atlanta Falcons to make the playoffs.
I just don't like the. I've never liked the Steelers. Even when I don't know. I just never liked them. I just don't. I don't know. They're not a flashy team, so it's hard to like.
They're not the same Steelers team as they were a few years ago.
They're not a flashy team, and they don't have a good defense. It's just hard. I don't know. It's hard to. Think that.
Flashy doesn't necessarily win, but
Yeah, but they don't have a good
I
defense
don't
either.
think their defense is not the Steelers' D of old.
They. Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't have to be with how good the offense is going to play.
Oh my gosh.
Their
That
offense
isn't even that good.
They have one of the best receivers in the league. One of
You've
the
been watching Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. I don't think you have, because you would know.
and LeGarrette Blount's a great compliment to Le'Veon
Your
Bell.
offense is just two players. It's not great.
And Ben Roethlisberger, of course, has been playing amazing again.
Marcus
no one ever
Wheaton.
pays attention to him. Yeah,
No, he
Marcus Wheaton's
hasn't.
has been impressive. The offensive line's actually held up. I don't know how you don't even watch the Steelers.
They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're just assuming based on what you saw on the scoreboard. Why don't you watch the game?
And they got dominated
Watch
by the
game.
Ravens.
Watch that offense on rewind. Watch it.
Well, I've only watched one game. I watched a little bit of the Panthers game, and then I fell asleep. But I watched the full Ravens versus Steelers game, and the Ravens dominated them, and their offensive line did not
Sure.
look good.
Okay, but what are you going to say about how Pittsburgh physically manhandled Carolina, who everyone was saying
I didn't
was one
watch
of the
that
best
game.
defense in the NFL?
Maybe
I don't know.
Carolina's not as good as everyone thinks they are.
Yeah, I
they
don't
are.
really like Carolina either. Cam Newton's falling off. He's scared to get hit.
Falling off.
Cam Newton's not 100% healthy yet. He's
He's
staying
scared
in
to
the
get hit.
pocket.
He's not running the ball. Yeah, he is.
He's having a tough. He's having a bad start to the year. But he's not falling off.
Yeah, he has no receiver except Kelvin Benjamin.
And Jericho Cotchery had 100.
Who did he have last year?
Yeah.
Brandon LaFell is a number 2.
You were just, oh my gosh.
Okay, does
people's narrative on the
talking
Panthers
about?
receivers this year are terrible.
Bra-
It's completely false. Brandon Fell last year was a 600
Yeah.
yard receiver. Steve Smith had 750. Their leading receiver was Greg Olsen with 860 yards.
Yeah,
This
they-
year, Kelvin Benjamin's is gonna over-exceed it. Jericho Cotchery and Jason Avant combined are going to finish with more.
Is
than Steve Smith did.
Jericho Cotchery that big of a drop off from Brandon LaFell?
No,
Yes.
he's not. He's
Yes,
absolutely
he is.
Not. Jericho Cotchery had 10
So are we
touchdowns last year.
segueing into the Panthers-Bears game
Yes,
now?
we are. Panthers Bears. I'm picking the Panthers, and I'm sticking with it right now.
The Bears are
The Bears.
a good team.
Dave, before you go, Panthers Bears. Who do you got?
I gotta go with the Bears. Their offense is too good, and their secondary's been playing a lot better than people expected. So I'll see you guys next week.
All right. So there goes Dave, and we're going to continue our topic. Chicago Bears. What do you guys think about the Chicago Bears? And Brandon Marshall's been practicing this year. This week he looks healthy. Do you guys? What do you think of what happened last week with Green Bay?
I don't know what to say about the game. I think well, this is what Jay Cutler said. I watched his press conference on NFL Network. He said that he feels, for some reason, he feels better playing away from home than he does at home. So, I don't know. That's what he said. And they're 0-2 at home, and they're 2-0 on the road.
Okay. Hanskin. Who do you like in this game? And talk a little bit about the Bears, because they're kind of confused. I mean, the AFC North, the NFC North. I feel like they're just waiting to all gel, like click.
I'm just waiting for the Bears, honestly, to get that run game going for not only themselves, but for my fantasy team. This is getting really frustrating with the Bears. I'm waiting for them to become a two-way offense instead of just relying on Cutler. Because when they rely on Cutler, things don't go very well. Things go south really quickly.
Very true.
And I think this team, the fact that they're 2-2 without like a very dominant Matt Forte, the only game that he was really very good all-purpose was the Bills game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, last
And,
week he
like-
was pretty good receiving-wise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean he's always gonna get like 100 all-purpose.
Yeah.
But like, I think when he eventually starts actually scoring on these plays, or like getting more than 10 and tackled, I think the Bears they'll end up at around a 10-6 record.
Matt Forte has to.
I'm gonna take them in this game because I think that eventually, I think it has to click soon.
Matt Forte has to pick up his game. He hasn't really done much this season.
Absolutely has to pick up his game.
But
Yeah.
I honestly, I think that like the entire offense, I think their offense should be playing a lot better than they have. I mean, I'm not sure. I think they're averaging about like 20 points a game, but against Green Bay, I mean, they've got to find a way to beat. It's kind of like Green Bay and San Fran. If Chicago wants to get over the hump and win this division and get into the playoffs, they got to find a way to beat Green Bay. They've been losing a lot of close games with them, but I mean, I think this division's wide open. Green Bay is now 3-2 after beating the Vikings, who are 2-3 now. The Lions stand on top at 3-1. We'll see what happens with them against Buffalo, which we'll get into in a little bit. That matchup.
And the Bears, I'm just jumping in here.
Yeah.
The Bears are missing 2 starting offensive linemen. That's a big deal. Garza and their center and
That's a good point. Yeah.
someone else. I don't know who
But
else.
a guy for Chicago that's been playing really good is Kyle Fuller, the rookie corner out of Virginia Tech. He's been good coming in for Charles Tillman.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, Martellus Bennett's been very good.
yeah,
yeah.
he's been
think
he's
he's-
put
I don't
best
know.
receiving tight end in the league so far.
Definitely. So we'll go with from there. Wait, so Hanskin, who do you got in that game? Just we're gonna do a little pick 'em thing.
I got the Bears. I think Forte has the potential to do what Bell did to the Panthers. I think that he's a different style runner, of course, but just the fact that like Panthers might have a little bit of an issue with the running backs, I think that should spell some success for Chicago and maybe take some like pressure off of Cutler a little bit, because that's what he needs the most. He needs all of his skill guys to be at the top of their game.
The Panthers look a lot different on defense without Greg Hardy, and I think that he was a very underrated piece of that puzzle last year on defense. So I'm going to stick with the Panthers, though, in this game. I think if Cam Newton can get to running, that was a dynamic that Carolina's offense thrived on last year. Hopefully he can start getting a more 100% healthy. So we'll move on to the next game, which is the Houston Texans against the Dallas Cowboys. Hanskin, your Cowboys, the Battle of Texas, where Ebola is beginning to spread. And I think the disease doesn't just stay with Ebola. The disease lies in Dallas.
I think it's funny how they just kept it. I think it's funny how, and ironic how the two teams that are playing this week are the two teams in Texas. They're quarantining the Texas teams.
Want to know why? Because the Dallas Cowboys are a disease.
Well, I'm gonna pick Dallas in this game.
I tried to be funny.
Because Dallas has looked very well, very good the past couple weeks. Basically dismantling the New Orleans Saints at home. And then I think Houston got outplayed immensely. They could not run the ball against the Bills. And I just don't think that. I think a team with a bad running game is perfect for Dallas. Perfect for a team like Dallas to play. And Dallas will probably win this game at home. I got Dallas winning by about 10.
Brendan.
Well, for this game, this is an interesting game, but with 2 3-1 teams facing off, who we probably didn't expect to be 3-1 at this point. But I think Houston's a pretender more than a contender. And I think Dallas is a good football team. I mean, they beat the Saints, who aren't very good on the road, but Tony Romo played pretty well, I believe, and DeMarco Murray has dominated the first 4 weeks of the season. Their defense has been better than advertised, which is surprising to everybody, but that's why you play the game. And I think the Cowboys defense will play well enough to stop the Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Houston Texans and pull another victory, improving to 4-1.
I think that the Houston Texans are, honestly, I think J.J. Watt will win MVP this year with how well he's playing. That defense looks good. If Brian Cushing can stay healthy, he's been a big piece of that puzzle so far too. If Jadeveon Clowney can come back healthy, this team might start gelling at the right time. If they can stay stay pace with the Colts. I mean, right now they're ahead of them by a game, but I don't think that's going to last. But if Ryan Fitzpatrick needs to go back what he did the first 2 games and manage the game, which everyone figures that's what he does just because he's not that great of a quarterback. But he's a risk taker, and he's been throwing a good amount of interceptions as of late. I believe he has 4 interceptions in the past 2 games. I'm not sure how many he threw against the Bills. I believe it was 1. Correct?
Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah.
1.
So I mean, he's throwing another interception in another game.
No,
If
he threw 2 in the Bills game.
Okay, so 2. So he has 5 picks in 2 games. If he can lower down the turnovers, let Arian Foster be this offense. He's been gelling well with DeAndre Hopkins.
They'll fail. They'll fail if they let Arian Foster be the offense. He's not.
Well, they have no
good
other.
anymore.
Ryan Fitzpatrick can't lead this offense. Arian Foster's your only choice.
The Texans are definitely a pretender, and here's why. That offense is not very good, as shown by Ryan Fitzpatrick being their leading rusher against
In the Bills game.
And
Well, yeah, in the Bills.
Because the Bills are
they
good
had
against
no
them.
business winning that game. That game was gift wrapped to them by E.J. Manuel, who threw the ball to J.J. Watt. And the fact that the Bills' their interior line was nowhere to be found.
Well, J.J. Watt.
The Bills outplay them immensely the entire game.
J.J. Watt is a man amongst boys in every single game he plays. Last week against the Bills, going up against a pretty bad offensive line, he had 9 quarterback hits and a pick 6.
The pick 6 was given to him.
There was
Be honest
a...
about the pick 6.
No, that was a fantastic play by him. What are you talking about?
It was not a very good play. He just was there.
It was a fantastic
He
play.
read the route, but he was just there. It's up to E.J. Manuel not to throw that ball.
He read
That
he
ball
read it
just
like a
should not be
book.
thrown.
Okay. We'll segue that into it. Perfect timing. Bills versus Detroit Lions, who stand atop the NFC North, which I think the 2 North divisions have been the best in football so far this year. And the Buffalo Bills, who have been over the headlines this week, as they benched E.J. Manuel for veteran Kyle Orton, who signed a very generous offer in the offseason for 2 years. The Bills are 2-2 right now. They still stand atop the AFC East, or Brendan likes to refer them to as the AFC Least. Brendan, we'll start with you. The Bills, give a little input on this quarterback move and how they're going to proceed in the future.
Well, the Bills' defense has played outstanding the first 4 weeks of the season.
Kiko, might I add.
Without Kiko Alonso, Nigel Bradham's played pretty well. But the Bills will be without 2 of their maybe top players in the defense this week. Listed as doubtful are Nigel Bradham and Kyle Williams. And Nigel Bradham's been a big part of it. He took Kiko Alonso's role, and he's been playing really well in the first 4 games. And this defense should be okay with a couple other defensive players behind Kyle Williams to fill in that role. But it'll be tough to get after Matt Stafford and try to get him get him off his game. And Calvin Johnson will be playing injured, so that's something to watch. He's playing.
Calvin Johnson might not even be playing.
Right. Yep.
Nah,
Caldwell has just said today that if he doesn't improve, he's probably not going to play.
that would be huge for the Bills.
Which, yeah, that would be very big for the Bills and their questionable corner group.
Yeah, Reggie Bush. Well, the corners played pretty well last week, but Reggie Bush shouldn't be able to do anything. And I think Joey Bell is injured also in this going into this game.
Concussion. He's not going to play.
Yeah, Joey Bell's out for this game. But going to the offense,
It's going to be a very defensive game.
yeah,
Like last week. It's going to come down to who limits the mistakes, I think, honestly.
the Detroit Lions are the number 1 defense in the NFL.
I think that this Kyle Orton factor might end up helping the Bills a lot in winning this game because it might come to, like Brennan said, and like Hanskin, this defense, if both defenses are going to limit what the offenses can do, it just depends on really who makes the mistakes on offense and gives that defense an opportunity to score. That's what I said against when the Bills played the Texans last week. I'm like, all right, which defense is going to turn this game around, because that's what's going to happen with this week too. The Lions, I think, are the number 1 statistic defense. We'll see how long that secondary can hold up with Darius Slay and Rasheed Mathis, but I like the Lions in this. I picked the Lions to win this division, and I'm sticking by it, and I think that they've played well without Calvin playing on his A game, so it might continue here, but the Bills definitely are in this game, obviously.
If Kyle Orton,
Do you think the Bills are, if they go 2-3, do you think they're pretty much done?
No.
They're not going to have a chance?
no, this
I
division
think
is
this a
awful.
different team. I think this opportunity this year is completely different than any scenario that's happened, situation that the Bills have been in late as of the past couple of years. Because I mean, if you look, the Patriots play the Bengals this week. I think the Bengals are going to physically outplay them. I think what you're seeing with the Patriots is real. I don't think what you're seeing is a mirage. And the Jets play the Chargers. I mean, the Jets could easily drop to 1-4 this year, and I'm riding them off. And then the Miami Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken, they have a bye week. So, and they're at 2-2, but the team they beat to bounce back was the Raiders, who we all know were in the headlines. Brendan's boy Dennis, yeah,
against Miami currently.
Right. So, and Brendan's boy Dennis Allen was fired in favor of Tony Sperano, which is even more disgusting.
I mean, if Kyle Orton just hits his open receivers and manages the game,
yes, that's all he has to do. He just
doesn't turn the ball over,
get the ball
and gives it to C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson, then the Bills should win this football game.
Exactly
However,
the
defense.
Are you both taking the Bills?
If the defense has to play well in this game against a very good offense in the Lions, and the offensive line for the Bills has to be really good. But I'll take the Bills.
You look at the Bills against Houston. There were so many wide open receivers that were just flat out missed.
Yeah.
And poor decision making. You have to think that the veteran will just make the easy throws, the easy ins, the easy slants. And the Bills' run game is still legitimate. Like, they should be able to take some pressure off Orton. I think the Bills have a shot in this game. I think it's going to be tough, as usual, like every NFL game is, especially against a good team like the Lions, but they definitely have a chance.
The Bills had 73 yards on 12 carries in the first half, and they gave the ball, I think, 7 times to the running backs in the second half in a one-possession game. It just didn't make any sense to me. Yeah.
Made no sense.
So
Bad play calling by Mr. Hackett.
that's something I've been criticizing the Bills for the past year and a half is the play calling and the coaching. I think the coaching has been very weak. And I'm not going to excuse how E.J. Manuel's been playing because a lot of it rides on him and how he's been doing. But I just wonder, like, with the offensive, they have weapons. There's no doubt about it. Their run game has 2, and even Anthony Dixon, I'm not going to write off as a guy that can make a big impact. And Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods, I just wonder, like, with really good coaching, how this, like, with a, like, I'm just going to say it, like, Chip Kelly, like, an offensive... I don't know.
All coaches.
I'm thinking offensive. Who else is an offensive genius in the NFL?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's why I said Chip. All right, fine.
Like
Adam
Tomlin,
Gase, the Denver Broncos offensive coordinator.
Do you think Kyle Orton would be as successful in Chip Kelly's offense?
No, I'm not talking about Kyle Orton. I'm talking about E.J. Manuel.
All right, let me go to E.J. Manuel.
EJ would be better than Foles?
No, but I think he
He's
would.
not accurate at all.
I think he would be a
He hurts
lot.
himself.
Okay, but
Nate-
Nick Foles has been very inaccurate this year too, but he's still getting it done. I think Manuel, honestly, would be serviceable in the Eagles' offense. But I don't want to talk about the Eagles. Do you guys think E.J. Manuel is still the guy? Like,
I'm
late
gonna go
for
back
later
to the
on?
Nate Hackett point. Nate Hackett
No.
has been working with 3 quarterbacks: Thad Lewis, E.J. Manuel, and Jeff Toole, along with a very bad offensive line. What do you expect him to do?
He does Madden plays.
Oh my gosh, what are
His
you talking
play-
It's
about?
not him, though. It's Hackett.
That's who I'm talking about. Who is Brendan talking about?
I'm talking about Hackett.
Brendan's talking about Hackett too.
Okay, he runs Madden plays. He literally
Yeah.
ran Z spot
Yes.
in the preseason. It was an exact, and he ran it twice in a row. But anyway, the dude he's got like issues with running plays that are like unique. He doesn't have any uniqueness. There's nothing about the Bills' offense that you say, "Wow, that was an interesting play call."
How many teams do?
They don't use any like.
How many teams do? I've never seen a team. I've never done that.
Zone blocks. They run reach and zone blocks. They don't run anything else besides that.
What does any other football team do?
What?
What does any other football team do with a bad quarterback?
The Eagles.
If you watch the 49ers, not that Kaepernick's a bad quarterback, you watch their blocking schemes, and how they get Frank Gore to get like open space, even though he's kind of a bowling ball, is they use pulling guards a lot. They use a lot of counters. They use a lot of like misdirection. The Bills don't do any of that.
Is Manuel the future still? That was the question.
Yes, I think he has to learn behind a veteran quarterback. He has to learn behind a veteran quarterback. He's only had Kevin Cobb for what, a month in the training camp, and they.
Kevin Cobb does not count.
Why does Kevin Cobb not
He
count?
didn't play.
What?
Do you think you can teach accuracy?
Sure you can.
I don't know. I think you can teach mechanics, and I think Manuel needs definitely to improve on footwork and mechanics, which has to do a lot with accuracy.
He has
So
to
I think it
play
is
football.
Tebow.
All he has to do
Tebow
is
would
just.
still be in the NFL.
No, Tebow would still be in the. No, Tebow should still be in the NFL. The reason Tim Tebow is not in the NFL is because of ESPN and the media. So
Exactly.
it's not. Are you telling me right now that Zach Dysert of the Denver Broncos or let's see, who else is a backup quarterback? Colt McCoy, who is on a roster, that Tim Tebow is not better than those guys? No, it's because of they don't want their second string quarterback. Yeah,
It'll be him.
you know,
they don't
you know
want.
the spiel.
They want
If
to.
he was on the Bills right now, he'd be starting.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about
In a
that.
must-win situation,
Go to the next game.
that guy's perfect.
All right, let's move on. The Baltimore Ravens against the Indianapolis Colts. Steve Smith showed up the Carolina Panthers last week. He'll look to improve on that. He is the fourth best statistic-wise receiver in the NFL so far this year. Looks like he's still got the talent. And Torrey Smith showed up. He got a touchdown. So this is an interesting game. We'll see. I personally like the Ravens to win this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ravens, I really like their team right now. I think Flacco's been looking pretty good. And even without Ray Rice, I mean, Forsett stepped in and done a great job. And you gotta give props to John Harbaugh
And Lorenzo
and
Taliaferro.
the rest of that team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I just don't think the Colts are as good as they got one guy.
No,
I think the Colts are
I
fantastic.
think Luck is as good as.
I think
Colts
Colts
is, but-
the Colts have a
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
I think the Colts have a fantastic offense, but their defense is kind of
bad.
bad.
Chuck Pagano should not get a pass. He's a defensive-minded coach. He came over from Baltimore. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this. Bruce Arians should have remained. They should have kept Bruce Arians. Chuck Pagano is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. He has done absolutely nothing with that thing. The top signing he's made in the past 2 years is Arthur Jones.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Chuck Pagano.
Chuck Pagano
He's
doesn't
been
make the signings.
He personally went after Arthur Jones because he coached him in Baltimore. So yes, it has to do with the signings.
No, not
And
really.
no, he does, and I think that he should not get a pass from. I just don't think he's been a good coach lately.
Yeah.
Great coach. No,
Chuck Strong. No, it's Luck Strong.
I mean, yeah, it's Andrew Luck's team. I don't know if Arians would like boost Luck.
He did
I mean,
boost Luck.
Luck's been the same. He's been the same as how he's still awesome.
Well, yeah, but
I
that's
mean, I think they need a defensive-minded coach. I just don't think they have the personnel defensively.
yeah, but Pep Hamilton also I'm going to give credit to because he came over from he coached Luck in Stanford. He was the offensive coordinator, so I mean he's done a good job with them too. But definitely Andrew Luck's done it a lot by himself. But a great matchup this week is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Denver Broncos. The Arizona Cardinals are one of
Defeated Cards.
two undefeated teams left. Drew Stanton looking like he's going to go again because this injury for Carson Palmer, I don't know when it's going to end.
Drew Stanton.
Okay, Hanskin, what do you think?
This is a tough one. It's gonna be a great game. I think the Cardinals defense is totally legit, and the Broncos offense, their run game has just been terrible. They have been done nothing.
It doesn't matter. They have
Sean
Peyton
Marino
Manning.
did the year before. They haven't even been in the same threshold. They're 28th in the league in rushing, and only 10th in passing with Peyton Manning. Their offense has not played up to that Bronco style that we saw last year, and I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
They played 3 games, and one of them was in Seattle.
And I feel like
Chill.
last year was kind of hard to live up to, as they were the best statistic offense of all time. I don't think you can expect them to do that good every week.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't expect the team to do that good.
I do. I
They
think
have
the
fantastic
defense has
defense.
improved dramatically, and I think that they're prepared to beat
22nd
Seattle.
rated defense.
Look at
3 games!
Statistics don't mean everything. A lot of the time, the Denver Broncos are one of
Oh,
the.
sorry, 27th rated defense.
3
Okay,
games.
first off, it's 3 games, and a lot of time, other.
Concerning 27th.
They're 2-1. And their only loss was in overtime.
And I think they should have won that game.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning gets a chance. I think they're ready to beat. I think they can beat. If they see Seattle again, I think they can beat them. They can't. They
They're not
can't.
going to,
close.
though.
I think. I don't think Seattle.
Seattle's not very good. I don't think they're as good as people say they are. They lost to the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are a Super Bowl contender in my mind, but I don't think they should have beat the Chargers.
I don't care what anybody else says. I think Richard Sherman is very overrated. I think he is. He's been burned.
Great. Sherman's good.
Sherman's really good.
No, I don't care.
I
saying
disagree
he's
with
not
you.
the best cornerback in the NFL.
Why not? People game plan around him because they're so scared
No,
of
they
him.
don't. Aaron Rodgers did. Then the next week, Phillip Rivers throws the ball all over the field to Eddie Royal on Richard Sherman. Then the next
Twice!
week, Richard Sherman almost blew the game for them. by
Richard Sherman
losing
gave
to
up
Mary
2
Thomas.
catches for.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He
No,
gave 2
didn't.
catches for like 20
No,
yards, and
that's
people
not
flipped
true.
out.
That's
It is.
you
It is
totally
true.
made up that stat on the
That's
fly.
not.
Keenan Allen and Eddie Royal were all over him.
I'm gonna look up Eddie Royal's
No,
numbers.
not just Eddie Royal. Keenan Allen too. I'm talking about all the guys that
Keenan
were
Allen
on
had
Richard
50
Sherman.
yards. He had 50 yards on Sherman.
Okay, and
It
Eddie
wasn't
Royal.
on Sherman though.
No, it was on Sherman. Sherman is not
They
that
ga-
good.
everybody-
You guys just like Sherman. No,
Yeah,
you
I
guys
know,
just
it's
like
not always
Sherman
on
because
Sherman.
all he does is talk, and you guys, for some reason, you like that, and I hate that.
I don't like that.
I hate him. I hate him. I'm just saying that he's a very good cornerback. He's.
I don't. When you have Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas, definitely you're gonna be great. So I don't really care. So
Who's the best corner in the league, though?
it's I don't think it's Richard Sherman. I think it's Patrick Peterson. Put Patrick Peterson with
Please.
those safeties.
Okay, his safeties aren't bad.
Yeah, his
Really?
safeties are pretty good too.
No, they're pretty bad. Tyrann Mathieu doesn't play a lot of deep coverage, and who's their other guy?
Because he doesn't play
Who's
deep
that? Wait,
coverage,
wait.
it makes him bad.
Who's their other guy? Well, no, he doesn't help out Patrick Peterson. So if that's what you're getting at, and who's their other guy? You can't even name their other safety.
No,
Yeah,
but
right.
they're not bad.
Okay.
Well, what I'm saying,
They're not
or
bad.
what I
They're
think,
not the 2 best safeties in the NFL like Seattle has.
the reason
so.
why you're saying that that Seattle safeties are so good because they play on TV every single week and you watch their games.
Yeah, so that I can see how good they are.
Yeah, but
What's
you
your
have
point?
you never even watched the Arizona games. How many Arizona
I
games did you
have
watch?
watched the Arizona games. I watched last week and the week before. So
They go after players
They didn't
way
play
more
last week.
because they can trust their corners and
same
man-on-man
thing game in
coverage.
New York.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Ever think of
whatever,
that?
Brendan. What did I ever think of? What?
There's the safeties are so good because they can trust their corners in one-on-one.
No,
coverage,
I
and
don't-
they're
I don't-
able to just lay the Legion of Boom on everyone.
No, I don't think Byron Maxwell's that good. So no, I don't think that's the case at all.
Well, okay. Well, Sherman's still pretty good. No one's got.
I'm
over
not saying
100
he's
yards.
not that good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying he's overrated. I don't think he's the best corner in the NFL.
All
I
right,
don't
that's your
think
opinion.
he is.
Everyone else has their
I
own
think he's
opinion.
the best corner in the NFL.
Okay, well
I
that's
disagree.
my opinion. So
Peterson is close, but he's not as good as Sherman.
I disagree 100%.
You'll never be able to know. No matter what anybody ever says, it'll always just be an opinion.
They go one-on-one against each other in practice.
If Patrick Peterson went one-on-one against Richard Sherman, he would burn him. Patrick Peterson can't run. Richard Sherman can't run with Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, he can. He
No,
can
he
ring with the
can't.
fastest players in the NFL.
Physicality that Richard Sherman brings.
Richard Sherman's a goof when he runs. Have you ever seen him run? He runs like a nerd.
It's horrible.
He runs like a nerd, but he's king.
Both Richard Sherman and nerds.
Ooh, you beat Michael Crabtree one-on-one. Congratulations. Jeez.
He went to Stanford.
Sorry, receiver like Chris.
He's a smart dude.
All right, it's good. Shut up.
What?
I can't stand Richard Sherman, so I'm not. And whatever.
I don't like him as I don't like his like talking, but I appreciate how good he is.
Whatever happened to Darrell Revis, by the way?
He plays for the worst defense in the NFL.
To the other guys.
Brandon Browner. Yes. Right.
Vontae Davis.
All right.
Johnny Manziel. His name had to be in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Leonis McKelvin in this ranking.
All right. This is not a Bills podcast. I feel so terrible for the people that don't like the Bills.
I know.
Which is probably most people that listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Nigel Bradham was brought up.
Yeah, Nigel Bradham, Leotis McKelvin, Kyle Orton. One of the first players mentioned was Denoris Searcy on this podcast.
The only quarterback we talked to or talked about mostly was Kyle Orton and EJ Manuel.
No, we're after we get done with these couple games, I got a seg for you before we go. But Jets versus Chargers. Are we anonymous in picking the Chargers?
The Chargers.
All right, next game. And by the way, I think the Chargers are gonna win this division.
All right. I don't think so. I think my boy Peyton Manning's gonna win it.
I like the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers look the Chargers look really good. But I say they get it. They squeeze.
As a whole team, they are better than the Broncos.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that the Broncos and the Chargers split this season. Like they split the 2 games, and I think that they tie, and the Broncos get the tiebreaker.
Okay, so you have them being in contention, though.
Yeah.
Finally have a roster that can help Philip Rivers as a whole.
I want them to get Melvin Ingram back, too. On that pass rush, he's a very underrated player. The first-round pick out of South Carolina, I believe it was 2011. But moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, Alex Smith returns against his former team after whomping, that's my word of the week, whomping the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. Jamal Charles had 3 touchdowns in his return. Alex Smith looked good again, as he has. He's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, in my opinion. He's not just the game manager that everyone labels him as. And
He's a game manager.
I think the Chiefs. I think the whole getting destroyed by Tennessee Week 1 was another overreaction. I think the Chiefs are going to be in contention this year for a wild card spot. But I still like San Fran. I think they're starting to get on their A game. I think that win's really going to help them. But what's up with all this news about them wanting Jim Harbaugh out? Deion Sanders. I'm not sure who the other player was. No, it was Bill. Bill Cowher.
Yeah.
Both said a lot of the players want Jim Harbaugh out, and
That
Harbaugh
doesn't make
came
any
back
sense.
and
He's a
said-
winner.
They're saying they don't like his coaching style. There was all those rumors about Cleveland almost trading for him in the offseason, him wanting to consider it, and saying a lot of just they don't like his coaching style. And this happened with John Harbaugh the Super Bowl year. There was a lot of controversy early on, and we'll see what happens. But
They're both unlikable guys.
I think Jim Harbaugh.
I think they're very confident in themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe to a fault.
Yeah.
Where the players don't want to rally against a guy that's like about himself, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like Jim Harbaugh, the Harbaughs as a whole, they just seem like they walk with a higher level of like confidence than other people. It could be a good thing because they're both winners. They both have proved that they deserve to have a lot of confidence. It rubs some people the wrong way.
It
Yeah.
rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it.
That was me the wrong
I think
place.
Harbaugh is actually better suited. He's better suited for a college team where the players look up to guys like that. Where the players are still 18 to 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
point.
think Harbaugh would actually be better suited maybe trying to get a job in college football.
I mean, he's come so close to,
Even if the
yeah.
49ers win.
I think San Fran, I mean, their window, I don't know how many times you can get there and not get it done in the playoffs, and they were, almost 2 yards away from winning a Super Bowl. I think that's kind of hanging over their heads, that their window of opportunity might be closing in. Some of their guys in their prime are, kind of getting out of their prime. Patrick Willis and Justin Smith. I'm not sure how old they are, but
Yeah, they're like
gotta
30.
win now.
I think Justin Smith's like 31.
yeah. But I think that Alex Smith is going to come out with something to prove. But I like San Fran to keep it going at 3-2. So
Winning solves everything.
yeah, it does.
We all have San Fran.
I'll take the Chiefs.
Okay, so Brandon's going to take the Chiefs.
Why?
I think that their offense is good enough to. Jamal Charles came back last week against the Patriots. Well, the Patriots are a bad defense, but they really tore apart that defense. And no matter how bad they are, Alex Smith looked good, and their defense looked fantastic against one of the best to ever play, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady looked scared when he was throwing the football by that pass rush. He
got
was
hit a
not
lot.
comfortable. That offensive line of the
He
Patriots
has
is
no
a
weapons
mess.
around him. It's pretty sad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good for Bills fans, but it's pretty sad to see if you're like.
They have no
realize the greatness that is Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's
They
good
have
for
no
Dolphins fans too. Yeah,
and Jets.
and Jets fans,
They have no.
Jets fans that are listening in.
and Peyton Manning fans.
They
Patriots are running scared. AFC least.
the Patriots have no receivers vertically down the field.
All right, so
Aaron Dobson, who wasn't even getting playing time, he was second round pick last year.
yeah, Brandon LaFell.
Kimbrel
got a lot of
Tompkins.
garbage time. But the Bengals, I'm taking over the Patriots. I think that they're going to keep this winning going.
Yeah, I'll also take the Bengals. I think the Patriots dynasty is over.
I agree. Well, I think it's been over since Teddy Bruschi and all those guys were gone. But I think their
New.
time of being a top contender is over.
I mean, their new 2010s AFC
Right.
East winning dynasty is over.
So we're all in agreement there. In Seattle, Washington, I'm safe to assume we're all taking Seattle.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't want to watch that game. Monday night.
I don't know if I want to start.
Hilarious, though?
What?
I want to point something out. I'm looking at the Redskins rankings. They have the 4th best offense and the 8th best defense.
Really?
No, yeah.
And we make fun of them all the time.
It's stats. Stats
Well,
aren't always true.
Yeah, they're 1-3. That just kind of shows.
The stats are definitely lying here because we all agree that the Redskins are a pretty bad team.
That show numbers never lie is false.
Yeah. Screw you, whatever your name is.
Yeah, and the other woman that I can't stand.
Jacquees Anderson.
Bill,
I think her name is.
You both said two different names.
Wait, what's her name? It's
You
good.
said two.
Jamil Hill.
Oh yeah, Jamil.
Okay.
I don't know who I
Who's
said.
Anderson? Who is that?
I don't know.
I'm looking that up.
One person.
I'm looking it up.
One person.
Screw you, Michael Smith. Screw you.
Okay. I don't know. Should I start Pierre Garçon this week?
Yes.
What's the new segment, Louis?
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm trying to look up Jacquees Smith.
Jacquees Anderson.
Oh, Anderson. Anderson. Did I mean Jacquees Anderson?
Maybe.
Maybe. Jacquees Anderson is an American actress and entrepreneur. She is best known for her role in A Touch of Fate, Intimate Affairs, and Half Baked.
That was it. I love that movie.
Does any...
What are the odds I win in fantasy this week?
Zero.
Hold on.
Give me
Does
some odds.
Does anyone know her spouse, Maxwell Anderson? Maybe that's why. Wow, that's. She is in nothing I've seen. Oh, she was in Law and Order, episode 1, 2003.
Oh my god.
Jesus, Mary, and Joey in season 1.
Alright, move on. What's the new segment?
Okay, alright, I'm sorry. So, a little thing I like to do is I always think about the young quarterbacks and how I keep up with them. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go around and we're gonna list the top 10 most promising quarterbacks that are starting in the NFL right now from the draft class of Cam Newton, Jake Locker, Colin Kaepernick, Andy Dalton, for that 2011 class up into this year's class of 2014 with the guys I'm sure you know. If you guys are ready to start, if not, I'll go first.
I'll go first.
Okay, Brendan.
I'll go number 10. Number 10. This might be surprising. Brock Osweiler. Back up for the Broncos. I'm serious. Once
Not a good start.
Once Peyton Manning retires, watch out for Brock Osweiler. That's all I have to say.
Alright, that's one. Next.
Oh, I have to go to all top 10?
Yes.
Alright. Number 9. Geno Smith. Geno Smith is looking alright, even despite the 1-3 record. I mean, he's turned the ball over quite a bit, the most in the NFL. But he might turn things around for the New York Jets. He seems to be the guy to take over that franchise, and without weapons around him, he's looking alright.
looking A-okay, huh? Okay. My number 10 is Johnny. My number 10 is Johnny Manziel. I think once he actually gets to playing, he might be actually pretty good. I didn't like what I saw. I saw a very mild type of quarterback in the preseason, but he showed some good things. I like him at number 10 once he gets some playing time. He might be a pretty serviceable quarterback, but I do not think he's going to be what some people were hyping him up to be in the offseason.
Number 9, I'll give a generous number 9 to Colin Kaepernick. I do not like the way that he plays I do not like the way that Colin Kaepernick plays quarterback. He's not much of a leader. He's not much of a leader. And without a good defense, I do not think that the 49ers would win with just Colin Kaepernick throwing the ball around the field.
Hanskin.
My number 9 is Johnny Manziel. I agree. I think he showed a little bit of promise, but he's clearly not there yet. And I'm excited to see more of Johnny Manziel, and maybe he'll rise through my rankings.
Okay, my number 9 is Ryan Tannehill of the Miami Dolphins. I think he's actually been very underrated. I think he's had one of the worst offensive lines since being drafted 8th overall by the Dolphins in 2012. He's been overlooked by a lot of the other quarterbacks in that class. Personally, I think he's looked good. They're 2-2, so they're still in contention. I think he throws the ball very well. He's super underrated mobility-wise, and I think if he keeps improving on his mechanics, I think he's going to get this Dolphins team in contention once their offensive line improves.
Not on my list.
I can see that, but number 8.
Number 8, I will go with an unpopular vote probably. New York Jets quarterback Geno Smith. Geno Smith has a possibility of playing of being a good quarterback in this league with good weapons around him and stuff like that. Geno Smith could be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Hanskin.
For number 8, I have Mr. Blake Bortles. I want to see more out of him. I think that, but we won't really get to see him perform with an offense that is even NFL caliber, probably for a year or two. I think that he's just struggling a little bit because of how bad his team is, and I would like to see him just add to the accuracy, limit turnovers, and I think he's a good number 8.
My number 8 is Andy Dalton of the Cincinnati Bengals. I think this is kind of like what Matt Ryan was. Everyone was talking about how he didn't have a playoff win his first couple years, but they kept getting in contention to the wild card spot. I think this year he's going to take that next step. He's not doing too much to really put them in a bad position, but he's been making some really nice plays. I like how he's come along, and he's won ever since he's been in the league. So sometimes I think people take for granted players like this who just keep you in contention, but I don't think that's who is. You know what I mean? I think he's a good, solid quarterback that can definitely improve still.
My number 7, I'll go with another unpopular one. Derek Carr. Derek Carr, with a bad offense, is going through an 0-4 season. However, I think that he'll be a good quarterback in this NFL. With almost no weapons besides James Jones, he has looked all right.
Hanskin.
My number 7 is Colin Kaepernick. I think he's pretty inaccurate for a guy that everyone's hyped up as this great quarterback. I don't think he's great.
People buy his jerseys. He's not even good.
He'll be upper half, but he'll never be a top 5.
My number 7 is Blake Bortles for every reason Hanskin said. I'm going to be lazy on that one.
All right. Number 6, I will go with Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill. I'm going with a different approach to this. I'm not adding the players that have already proven themselves, kind of. And I'm going with the players that I have to develop. And Ryan Tannehill has everything that you ask from a quarterback. He has a good arm. He's a pocket passer with a good pocket presence, and
when he has a pocket.
Yeah, when he has a pocket with a bad offensive line. I mean, he has all the intangibles that you look for in a quarterback, and he has raw talent, and I think that Joe Philbin and that coaching staff can make him into a good quarterback later in his career.
Hanskin, number 6.
My number 6 is Penn State quarterback Christian Hackenberg. If you have ever gotten a chance to see this guy, he has so much comparison to Andrew Luck from Andrew Luck's days in Stanford. He is so similar. He's not as fast, he's not as athletic, but just his composure and his intangibles in the pocket. You see it at such a young age. He's only a sophomore, and you see that he is he's already dominant in college football.
My number 6 is Nick Foles, who was the third-round pick from the Eagles in the 2012 draft. I think he's been everything the Eagles want him to be. I think he's shown some really good signs, and his raw talent is something that the Eagles can still improve on. His arm strength is very underrated. I think if he can just calm down and get his accuracy going once that offensive line produces, I think Nick Foles is going to get back to what he did last year. Last year he was breaking records. This guy's a really good. He's big. He's very tough. If you look at what he did against Washington Week 3, so Nick Foles is my number 6.
Who? Or no, never mind. What are we on, number 5? All right, number 5. I will go with Money Manziel. Johnny Manziel.
That's
Johnny Manziel
much.
is just using that word clutch. You just say clutch, right?
No.
I thought you said clutch. Johnny Manziel is going to be a good quarterback. He's not going to be your everyday pocket passer. He's not going to be your everyday running quarterback either. He's going to be himself. He's going to be Johnny Manziel. He's gonna do what he does. He's gonna make throws when he needs to. And he's just gonna win football games when he comes into the NFL. He's just gonna win football games. That's it.
That's it. All right, Hanskin. Any more Hackenberg?
This is my last college quarterback. If you watched the Sugar Bowl last year, you know who I'm talking about. Oklahoma quarterback Trevor Knight.
At 5?
What?
At 5?
He destroyed that Alabama defense.
You think he's better than Colin Kaepernick?
He's a senior.
He is Hackenberg. He is Hackenberg out of Colin Kaepernick.
He is Hackenberg out of yeah.
Sorry, Hanskin.
I see what I see, boys.
All
I
right.
see what I see.
I've
seen enough of Colin Kaepernick, actually. So that's why he's below the guys that I haven't seen enough of. Guys I don't get tired of seeing. Guys I enjoy watching play the quarterback position and not throw inaccurate passes to Anquan Bolt. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, my number 5 is not Trevor Knight.
You don't even know who Trevor Knight is.
Yes, I do. He's the Oklahoma Sooners quarterback.
And how good is he? He's pretty darn...
Not better than Colin Kaepernick or Hackenberg.
Louis. What's his name?
So I'm gonna.
The NFL quarterbacks.
All right, my number 5 is Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is a guy that everyone overlooked in the draft. No one appreciated how good he actually was for Louisville. He put Louisville on the map. This guy has very underrated mobility, but he uses his mobility to get open. He even scored a rushing touchdown last week against the Falcons, where he had 317 yards passing. He's got a great arm. Pocket presence is tremendous with him. He really knows how to move up in the pocket. Great decision making. When he's got those gloves on, he's a very accurate quarterback, and he's a good weather quarterback. I really like Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's a top 5. He's going to soon be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I'm a big fan of him. And last year, Dave said this year in this draft that Blake Bortles and Johnny Manziel were way better than him. I don't think so. I'm sticking with Teddy Bridgewater, and he's my guy. So.
My number 4, I'll go with Wake Forest quarterback Tanner Price.
Oh my God, you're joking. You are joking, Chris.
Yeah. All right, my number.
For the audience that clearly has no idea what we're talking about, Jordan goes to Wake Forest. So, go ahead, continue.
My number 4, I will go with Buccaneers starting quarterback right now, Mike Glennon.
Whoa.
I mean, Mike Glennon.
Better than Christian Hackenberg.
Mike Glennon is a potential starter in the. He could be a franchise quarterback for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nothing more, nothing less. He could be a franchise quarterback for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's a true pocket passer. He can throw the ball down the field. He's a locker room guy, a fan favorite. Mike Glennon.
He's a fan favorite.
He's a player favorite.
All right.
Mike Glennon could take this team to the playoffs in future years.
All right, let's wake up Hanskin after that Mike Glennon talk. Hanskin, who do you got at number 4? Hold on. Hanskin, who do you got at number 4? It appears we have lost Jordan Hanskin, so we will continue on with the show. Oh, we got him. We have him.
Hi, Hanskin. How you doing?
Okay.
Dalton's number 4.
This is getting sloppy. Okay.
Accurate. Makes the playoffs every year. He's a winner. He's a gamer. He's a playmaker. Andy Dalton.
Okay, my number 4 is Colin Kaepernick, and I disagree with both of you. I think he's better than Hackenberg and Trevor Knight. He's been in
And
the Super
Tanner
Bowl.
Price.
He's played in 2 NFC Championship games. He's playing.
He never went to a Sugar Bowl.
Oh, he played at Nevada, but I think Colin Kaepernick still has a lot to improve on.
The Sugar Bowl.
Kaepernick's ceiling is still. I mean, his ceiling is high still. So he's my number 4. Brendan, what's your number 3?
My number 3, I'll go with the winner, Andy Dalton.
Oh my God.
Andy Dalton has been just. He's got a lot of weapons with the Cincinnati Buccaneers, but he makes them work. He makes them work for their spot on the roster. The Cincinnati Buccaneers. What am I saying? I'm saying
You're getting focused, buddy. This is a long podcast.
Andy Dalton.
Cincinnati who? What did you say? The Cincinnati who? Buccaneers? Oh my God.
My number 3 is Andy Dalton. That's it.
We're losing audience from the. All right, Hanskin, who's your number 3? Give Brendan a break.
It's Auburn quarterback Cameron Newton.
Cam Newton.
I agree with you. I have Cam Newton as my number 3 as well.
I think Cam Newton's very good. I think he's one of the most impressive physical quarterbacks, just as an imposing figure. I think that we've seen in a while, and he throws the ball really well. I mean, you can't say much. He's a great quarterback. All right.
So I got Cam as well. He's been my boy since he got drafted, so I agree with you. Number 2, Brendan.
I'll take Cam Newton. Number 2.
All right, Hanskin, number 2.
Who did he say? Cam?
Yeah.
Okay, I got Russell Wilson at 2. Super Bowl winner. I think he does things. He's not the flashiest by any means, but for being 5'11" and being as shifty as he is and rolling out outside the pocket, I have to say that he's done enough to be impressive, and I'm giving him the number 2 spot.
Yeah, me too. I have Russell Wilson. I'm assuming we have the last 2 rankings on the dot, but I think Russell Wilson has really. I think he hasn't even been given the opportunity to show as much as he's able to. Look at what he did in overtime. He won that game for the Seattle Seahawks. I think he's going to continue to improve. His role is going to increase. Marshawn Lynch is not going to be there forever. So I like Russell Wilson at 2 as well. I'm just going to get my number 1 out of the way. Andrew Luck's a stud, and he's been playing terrific football ever since he's been in, and he's the reason the Colts are 2-2 right now and still in contention. Brendan, who is your 2-1?
As I'm going a different way than you guys are, I'm gonna put my number 1 as Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
I might be
oh boy.
overreacting because of one game, but Teddy Bridgewater
I don't
made
think
a
it's an overreaction. I think it's his talent.
It's an overreaction.
Teddy Bridgewater made a bad offense look like they're fantastic in one week. He also was a very good quarterback for Louisville. And I think he's just going to be a great quarterback in this NFL with the Minnesota Vikings.
Hanskin, he's not ranking the guys that have already proven themselves, if that's what you're criticizing.
Well, wait, he say, okay, what is he saying? I don't know.
He's ranking.
He doesn't think Bridgewater's better than Luck.
No, his rankings are based on the people that haven't proved it, but they have a lot of upside. So,
Yeah.
All right. I think Bridgewater has a good amount of upside. I didn't fit him on my list. I think he would probably go 10 for me now that I think about it. Overall.
And over your scrubby college quarterbacks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But he's not ahead of the other two.
Wait, what?
Stand by that.
Hackenberg isn't going to
You
be
don't-
drafted.
You didn't even rank.
Who's Hackenberg?
He didn't,
Plays for Penn
He
State.
didn't even rank Mariota or Winston or Brett Hundley.
I don't like Winston's attitude.
You like
He's
you
not a
like
mature quarterback.
Hackenberg's not
You
going to
like
get drafted.
you like tough, boring pocket passers.
Who's Hackenberg?
That's what Andrew Luck is.
No, Andrew Luck is extremely mobile and does not get enough credit for that. So.
He's mobile, but he doesn't use it as much as he could.
That's
Si,
because he's-
señorita.
Passer.
Is that because of his race? I'm just saying.
He's so boring because he's a pocket passer. You know who else is a boring old pocket passer?
Who?
Peyton Manning's a boring old pocket passer.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's a boring old pocket passer.
Yes, and they.
Ryan's a boring pocket passer.
Yes, and they bore me.
They're all good quarterbacks.
No, Aaron Rodgers is very mobile too, though.
And
so.
they're all okay, but does he use it as much as he can? No, because he's a boring old pocket passer. All the best quarterbacks in the NFL are boring old pocket passers.
Okay, so I will respect your opinion, and that's how we will close off the show. Thanks for joining us here on the Beyond the Huddle podcast. Make sure to check us out on iTunes. Just type in Beyond the Huddle, we'll be there. Thanks for joining us. Follow me on Twitter at DB Sports Talk for your NFL updates. Hanskin, what is your handle on Twitter?
JHanskin57. Follow me. I'll be updating you on more than just the NFL because the college game is essentially the farm system for the NFL.
You don't have to one-up me, buddy.
Be paying attention to those guys.
I update hockey stuff if that's what you're interested in, but this is an NFL podcast.
My Twitter handle
Yeah, but
is
treat college like the farm system.
my Twitter handle
To see.
is at hbrendan17. Don't follow me unless you're a Bills fan.
Okay, so that's gonna do it. We'll be back next week Friday after all the Week 5 matchups. We'll see you next time.